Hey, welcome to the LongBox Paradox episode. I don't know what number it is at this 94.
94. I knew it.
Six more till we hit 100. I'm Dan, your host, joined by Jennifer at Comic Books Will Break Your Heart or Comics Will Break Your Heart on YouTube. We were just talking before we went live that it was a pretty healthy week book-wise. I also want to hit a couple things before we start. So 4 Kids Walk Into a Bank got optioned, and CGC 9.8s jumped up to $200.
Ooh. That book came out when I was working at the comic book store back in Florida, and I remember that was such a sleeper hit. Like, it came out, and then all of a sudden, everyone wanted it. And it's like, well, where were you 2 months ago where you could have pre-ordered this?
Speculators started coming out because We Can Never Go Home was such a big spec hit.
Mm-hmm.
And then add in the fact of they were pushing it as a Tarantino movie. It's a Tarantino movie script sort of thing, but with kids.
Got it. So spoiler alert, unpopular opinion, I actually haven't read 4 Kids Walk Into a Bank. I hear good things, but I haven't seen the trade, and I wasn't able to pick up the single issue, so it's my fault.
I liked it. I didn't love it. There was one character in particular I fell in love with, but it felt like it was kind of trying to catch that whole Stranger Things vibe.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
That everybody all of a sudden was hitting this nostalgia wave.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Ice Cream Man, well deservedly, has started heating up. Number one, it was short printed also to boot because no one knew what the fuck the book was.
Oh, and it's such a weird, the title doesn't explain how weird it is. It doesn't explain how good it is. And man, that's a wacky, wild ride with Ice Cream Man. So that one 100% deserves a show, movie, whatever.
Also, Something Is Killing the Children, number one, all of a sudden just started skyrocketing. The raw books are 90 for cover A right now.
I feel like I have number 1, but maybe I got number 2. Maybe I got the second printing of number 1. I can't recall, but
I have the Friesen variant because that Erica Slaughter on it was so fucking good.
Yeah. I was told, my partner apparently realized that the cover is the same cover as Tokyo Ghoul. The
the anime.
Yeah, so apparently
or manga,
whatever it is. And I'm like, nuh-uh, dude. And it totally is. I got. First time in almost 12 years I got.
I'm sure you've got more than that.
No. I won't give him that satisfaction.
Nice. Also, weirdly, I stay off Twitter, but today, I weirdly went on to see if anything happened that we needed to talk about, and this Ray Fisher thing is fucking
What is going on? What is going on? I don't know. I you know me, I stay
on
Twitter.
He has been talking about how he was Joss Whedon, Jeff Johns, and all these other people were abusive to the people on set. So Warner Brothers launched an investigation, and then he was saying that they tried to the president of Warner contacted him saying, hey, lay off and, we'll throw these people under the bus, but leave Jeff Johns alone. And then the investigators called up Ray Fisher to talk to him, and he said that they were shills for the company, so he didn't want to talk to them. So then they released a press release. It is so weird.
Yeah. It's funny how it takes Twitter attention, I guess, because I feel like I've been seeing nods to that on Twitter for a little bit, and
for at least 4 months it's been going on, back and forth.
So maybe that's just how long it took him to do an investigation, which I get, but there was probably complaints long before this on the actual set, and at this point, all of these things just become damage control instead of fixing the problem.
It's just so much attention to a movie that no matter what cut you got was going to be
Yeah, true.
So let's go to our books of the week.
Got it. whenever I was, because I literally just read these this morning. After I got my breakfast, I got my big ass wet ass pancake. Just covered that pancake in syrup. It was
But did
really
you put
good.
butter on it?
It was already buttered. Yes.
Okay,
Buttered and syruped.
I don't like putting butter on it. I don't know why.
Oh, well,
Just asking. I was curious who puts butter on their pancakes.
me, because it's delicious. Okay, so let's not even talk comics today. Let's talk about, apparently hot ticket here. Should butter go on pancakes? And I would think that the majority of people say yes. Kim, you're in the chat. Does butter go on pancakes? I need this question answered before I even start talking about before I start talking about comics. Does butter go on pancakes? To me, the answer is yes. I'm waiting.
She's just like, what the fuck did I just walk into?
Kim was here for our Philadelphia discussion.
Yeah.
So if she's here after that episode, like,
Well,
Kim,
her and
you're a
Rodney Barnes are
trooper.
best friends now.
Right? So, okay. Yeah, Kim says yes. So thank you. You're outnumbered. You clearly do not have a refined palate that can stand butter on a pancake.
I don't. I have a child's palate. Like, seriously.
Okay, so now that we got the big issues out of the way, we can talk about the single issues. I'm going to give a moment because I'm pretty sure my cat's about to jump up here, and he totally did. Right on time, dude. Right on time. Hanging out? I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry because he's precious, and I love him. It takes him forever to, like, get settled. Come on, dude. You can see this. Disgusting animal. I love him though. He's deaf, so he can't hear me make fun of him. Okay, man. So seriously, there were so many good issues this week. Let me go ahead and talk about this one because it was pretty cool. Hellblazer.
Didn't read
Rise
it.
and Fall.
Got it, but I didn't read it.
It was good. You get to see baby Constantine after he was born, and you get to see him as like a young chap, just being a teenager, smoking cigarettes, summoning demons. Apparently, he kills a childhood friend, and one of his other childhood friends isn't allowed to hang out with him anymore. He gets grounded, and then he, flash forward 10, 15 years later, whatever it is, 20 years later, smoking cigarettes and whatever. Basically what's happening is that angels, people with wings are falling from the sky, getting impaled, and him and one of his childhood friends, I think her name is Aisha, is that her name, investigate it. There's a really cool moment between the two, because she says something like, "Oh, John, you stole my boyfriend," and he's like, "No, I just borrowed him." So it's cool because one of
diving into his pansexual.
Yeah, so I was really happy to see. I was really, really happy to see that because, bisexual, pansexual erasure is a thing. So it's really cool to see a really interesting, like, man, John Constantine is such a good character. So I'm really happy to see this. I've really been digging what the Black Label is doing. Typically, the Black Label stuff has been going a little bit like darker and a little bit weirder. This one I still feel like didn't do that. Like, it wasn't dark enough for me. But I'm glad that it's not over the top darkness. Like, now we've got death metal and we've got doom metal, and as a fan of metal, man, those DC books fucking disappoint. So anyways, Hellblazer, I would give it a solid 8.5 out of 10. Maybe I would have given it more if I liked the artwork more, but it was still really good.
I'll give it a read when I get a little time this week.
Thoroughly enjoyed me some John Constantine Hellblazer.
I'm going to talk about a book that I wanted to like and I did not, and that would be Black Widow #1.
Oh, okay. So, your thoughts, and then I'll go with mine. Sounds like they're similar, though.
I was like, Adam Hughes cover. I was like, okay, like I'm in for that. And then I started reading it, and I realized something. I hate Kelly Thompson's writing. Every book, she's so basic. Like, there's nothing thought provoking. Basically, I feel like when Quincy's was open, the big fat yeast roll, where you're like, that looks kind of delicious. I want to eat that. And then after you finished eating it, you just had regret.
That's how I feel when I went to that feeling for me is Golden Corral. Like you go to a buffet, yeah, and you're like, okay, some of this food kind of like that mac and cheese looks appetizing, and then you eat it and you're like, this is cheesy, like wet cardboard.
The book was like so tropey and just boring.
It was so, and my thing, I feel like Black Widow, Natasha,
there's a good story to be told, but
there really is, and
don't
like,
know how to tell it.
I feel like we haven't really seen it yet, and I'm not like necessarily not a fan of Kelly Thompson.
Or Captain Marvel run was atrocious. She's basically like Bobo Kelly Sue DeConnick, where she's trying to ape her and she's not talented enough.
I feel like I would disagree. I don't think that it was like horrible. Did I love it? Like, was it my favorite Captain Marvel? No. I just think that I would say it is boring and it's not going to where it needs to go. Like, Black Widow is such an underrated character. And this I felt like was
it became more about Hawkeye and Bucky.
Exactly. And so I'm like, once again, like I'm getting an origin story of a really cool character, but then I'm getting another character's story. And the one thing that was kind of enjoyable about it for me was the ads for like SuperCon. And because clearly this book was meant to come out with the release of the movie because of the pandemic. Obviously that didn't happen, but I thought it was funny that I saw an ad for a SuperCon, and then I forget what other, I think there was an X title in there that, you know, it was advertising, and yeah. So that was interesting, but the romance that was going on, and yeah, like I was like, Black Widow could be so much more. So I don't know if that was like a Kelly Thompson thing or if it was just an editorial thing. I really don't know.
It's hard to tell. Like, if it was DC, I'd say what editorial, but
yeah.
And this may seem harsh, but this is like a 4 out of 10. Like, I did not enjoy it. There was nothing enjoyable for me.
Yeah. Like I said, the most enjoyable part of it was just seeing like, oh, like an ad for SuperCon that didn't happen. Like, am I living in an alternate world? I'm living in the darkest timeline.
Yeah, I mean, I basically paid for a Adam Hughes cover. Like, that's what I paid for, and I love Adam Hughes, but
yeah, I got this one, so I got the.
Who is the cover artist on that one?
It says Bonvillain, so I don't know.
Well,
I know.
Okay,
I don't know
it probably is Bonvillain then, because
I don't know if it's her colors. But anyways, this one, I might bite at the second issue, but this one was just not fun enough for me. Like, it wasn't fun. It wasn't intriguing. It didn't do anything for me.
Did it feel a little bit like it was trying to ape the style of the David Aja Fraction Hawkeye run a little bit, with the way the art by Casagrande was?
I don't feel I enjoyed the minimalistic, and I didn't get that from this one. I want to go ahead and say hi to John if you're
John,
in the chat.
I just saw he's back.
Yeah. I missed your stream this morning, and I'm really not disappointed because I went and got breakfast and I got some wet ass pancakes. So I'm sorry I missed your stream, but I had pancakes instead. Sorry, but not sorry. Alrighty. You're like giving me the signal like, hey, what's your pick? So, man, there was so much good stuff. I'm not going to go with just 3, and I'm just going to like talk about all the shit. So Spy Island, I typically, whenever I see like there's a #1 issue of anything, I'm like, okay, I'll pick it up. I'll see what's going on. And even with this one, I'm like, I'm probably not going to pick it up. Dark Horse #1s are hit or miss for me. And Katie, the owner of my local shop, Books with Pictures, was like, "Hey, like, have you checked that out? Are you interested in it?" And I'm like, "Nah." And she's like, "It's good. I really enjoyed it. I picked it up. I really enjoyed it. It's basically like a female James Bond in the Bermuda Triangle, and it was really kind of like quirky. The character, what's her name? I can't remember the name, but I really enjoyed it. Um, I I don't know if I'll add it to my pull list just yet. I'll probably read issue number 2 and see if I like it, but the artwork was fun, the story was fun. I liked the dialogue between the characters. Her name is Nora. Is
I missed that
the
one completely.
Yeah. Yeah, seriously, I feel like there wasn't enough um advertising around it. But I thoroughly enjoyed it. This one was really, really surprising. I will pick up issue 2, but I'm not ready to add it to my pull list just yet.
So one I feel like we need to talk about.
So sorry, let me go ahead and
yes.
just because I always forget to do the rating, I would probably rate this one like out of 10, 7.5, 8 out of 10. It was solid. Yeah. Okay. So one that we have to talk about.
Die 13.
Ooh, okay. I knew that you were gonna bring this one up. So yeah.
John.
Wonderful associate. Okay, where are you going, dude?
Need more WAPs.
Need more WAPs. What are you doing, dude? I'm so sorry.
It's okay. Like
Kitten.
This issue was so dense with information.
Really, it was.
Like it blew my mind because I was like, "Oh shit!" Like H.G. Wells was really, really fascinating.
Yeah.
In a way that like not as fascinating as Bronte to me, but his whole backstory and the fact that he has control of all his stories, the Invisible Men, and like is he coming in going, I had to beg the gods to do this, and then breaking it down of what the world of Die is.
Yep. And then like the talk about the different games, and then there's this like this intriguing part where he feels conflicted because I guess
He thinks
like
he stopped the war, and then
he
like
thinks he stops it, but he doesn't know. And then at the end, Ash is like, he felt the same way. And so how many more? There's one more issue after this that concludes the arc, or is there 2 more?
I think
Or
there's
3
2.
more?
I think there's
Okay.
2.
Yeah, so this one, I love this. I love Die. I love the series a lot. And to me, like all of these issues, it packs a lot. Like Die is not an easy story to read. I think that it definitely needs a reread, sometimes for comprehension, sometimes to just get a little bit more out of it. But this one was a thick with 2 C's. Die keeps making more and more upset. I'm literally falling out of love with it. I think like I kind of understand that because it's kind of confusing at times, and it's a lot of information, and it's a lot more informative and less fun. Like Die is not fun.
The part where they meet the fair and Chuck's question and everything, you're like, okay, well, and then they basically hack the game and find out everything that's happening between our world and the other world, and
that it's been going on for 200 years. And the one thing that was kind of hokey was the 2020 thing to me. Like, was that obviously wasn't originally written in. We are having a shit 2020 year, like, and I don't know. So that was whatever.
I don't know if it gets meta and they end up saving everything by reading Jerusalem.
Like they fix the timeline. So here's the thing. In volume 4, Alan Moore is going to be the writer, and then they're going to go
Top news.
they're going to go into the world of Jerusalem, and that's how they fix everything. So, you heard it here first, folks.
So for me, this was like an 8 out of 10. Like, yes, it was a very info dump issue, but like the stuff it was dropping, and like how H.G. Wells is like, I stopped the Great War, and it's like, so no, dude, your book actually created Dungeons and Dragons, your game, and everything. And he's like, say what now? Let me get on my bike and go back in time. I was like, wait, no.
Yeah. So Mars says that Kieran said the pandemic made him rewrite lines and die. Pretty sure that was one, and that's totally that was not an original line. Like what, 2 years ago, whenever he started this.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm still enjoying the series a lot. Are there some clunky parts? Absolutely.
For sure.
I at times I'm just like, just leave Angela the fuck alone. Just let her be. Like, why does she suffer? She lost an arm. Now her daughter is like a weird fallen robot.
It was still, I thought it was still fun, but
some of the lines that were going through Ash's head during it, I kind of liked. How even she's starting to self-doubt.
Yeah. Especially after meeting H.G. Wells, and she was like, well, he thought that his work, like, you know, that the war was ended, and I'm doing this alliance, so I'm doing this thinking that this is going to end the war. We'll see.
Yeah. So yeah, like I said, 8 out of 10. The series continues to be a buy for me. I'm sure those are trade waiting. Like I know Gambit trade waits.
Yeah, and that makes sense. Okay, so normally this would be my last pick, but seriously, this was such a good week that
I've got extra ones too.
I cannot contain it to 3 issues, and this is rare for me because, like, coming out of what was it, like 3 weeks ago, where I'm like, I hated every fucking thing that I read. Let me go ahead and go to the one that I didn't like. What was the one that I didn't? Oh, Black Widow was really the only one that I didn't like, and we already talked about that one. The other one that I didn't really like, Strange Adventures. Like, I'm still just kind of like.
Oh, the Atlanta's a bitch episode.
Yeah, like I feel like I should like her a lot more, and I feel like this is more of a story about her, and I feel like I should like it, and I don't know if it's because of the timelines going back and forth and how that's written, but I feel like I should like this one a lot more, and I don't. So I'm really thankful this one's a limited series, because I can't wait for it to be over, because I know I'm gonna hate read it. I'm not hate reading, because hate's a strong word, but I sure as fuck am like dislike reading it.
No, I feel like Mercy is hate reading.
Mercy for sure is a hate
read. My reading of that writer's Batman run, where I was just going to the shelf at the shop and reading it.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't going to pay money to be angered. I have a book from Boom I don't know how I felt about.
Is it this one?
Yes.
Okay.
I like certain parts, and other parts I'm just like, I'm not following what's going on enough. And then at the end, they just kind of like drop that like plot line. I'm like, like why? What are we doing here?
I felt like one of the things that's almost kind of confusing, because it starts off in the year 2323, and then it skips, like, you know, the year is 2367, and so I don't know. It does a lot of things like that. I think it's beautiful. It reminds me of an anime.
That page where they show the floating like god body, like fucking awesome. Like I loved.
I think the thing about this, so this one right here, like, that was absolutely beautiful. For anyone, I'm sorry.
The color art, the colorist did a fantastic job.
Yeah.
Also, end world design for the lettering. Also, like, the lettering was on point, and we never really shout that out enough. But like, when you notice, I guess it's kind of like porn. Like you know, good lettering when you see it.
You can't define it, but you know it when you see it. I mean, I feel like I have I don't know. I get you there. I loved the Chris Ward, so I bought both. I bought the A cover, and I also bought the variant. I feel like this book, it was interesting. Let me see, I read that new Boom book. It wasn't a home run. I gave it could evolve into something great. I feel like the the idea is interesting, right? So like whenever I think about these things, it's like, is it the forest or the trees? I like the forest. Like I love the big, beautiful, like give me weird space shit and I'm there all day, every day. Like, but I feel like I didn't get to enjoy the characters. Like I didn't find a character that I connected with. I can't remember any of the characters' names. So to me, this book was like, I'm probably going to just keep buying it. Like I'm probably going to get the next issue, but I'm going to need to reread this one to try to remember everyone's names, to really figure out what's going on. But I really like, I bought it twice just because I love Christian Ward's artwork so much. So I really enjoyed this variant cover.
Your next one.
Got it. I really enjoyed this series a lot. King of Nowhere has been one of my absolute like this one was one of my favorite comics this year. And so this one was this one's the 5th issue, the last of the series. And seriously, this book was so weird and you have no clue what's going on really. This person is just like thrown into this world where like there's a half salmon dude and there's like toad people walking around and people are like half animal, and then you don't really know how you got there. The last issue 4, the penultimate issue of the series, explains what goes on, and then there's kind of like a cute resolution. So this was a really good series, and I think that this one's going to be a good trade to pick up.
It probably it might read better as a trade because you just go through all in one shot.
Exactly. So you don't have to wait 4 months to figure out why the world that they're in is like this, because that happens in issue 4. So, you can just read it all at once. Because I thoroughly enjoyed this series, I would give it like a solid 8.5, 9 out of 10. I really, I loved the series. I loved the series a lot. So yeah, it's weird. And it's Maxwell Prince who's doing Ice Cream Man.
There's another Ice Cream Man. There's a Ice Cream Man book coming out next week. I think it's the ones they put out for during the quarantine.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's Quarantine Comics.
Yeah. And it has the variant with him wearing the mask, right? Is that the one, or did that already come out?
I think it is with the mask. Yeah.
Sorry, that's sign language for mask.
So I don't want to get yelled at for not talking about this book, and I can't believe I almost forgot it. Sender number 12.
Oh, I didn't even pick that up, but I'm trade waiting on that series. Don't spoil anything.
So it was an Andy and Effie story.
Mm-hmm.
And there is a reveal in the very last panel splash that ties everything together.
Okay.
And this issue in particular, 8 out of 10 for me, easy. Possibly one of the 3 best issues of this run.
Wow. And Ascender is a 5-issue volume, right? Or is it 6?
I think it might be 6.
Okay, so this would be like the halfway
feels like
point.
It's ending this arc.
Okay.
But unbelievably good issue, and not as good as the last issue is really good. This is more of a character building, character driven issue, and not so much action. There is action, but not as much. But so good, and of course, like Dustin Nguyen's art is just fantastic.
When I was reading We Only Find Them When We're Dead, I don't know why, but I got kind of a Descender vibe, maybe in story only, not to do with the art. Either Descender or Gundam, like that was the kind of feeling that I got from it. But I don't know. I don't want to be like comparing it to this really, really good series and then it just falls flat but yeah.
Yeah. Your next one.
Man, I'm literally probably just going to go through like all the comic books that I got this week. Okay. So
that came out again.
Transformers, My Little Pony, Friendship in Disguise. It's really good. It's so fucking wholesome, and I absolutely love it. Man, there's I read a lot of like weird stuff, and this to me is just a palate cleanser. It's really nice to just read it and just watch a fucking pony make some muffins. A magical pony making muffins with another transformer who they're like BFFs now, and this other one, Gage, makes a like gear iron casserole, and I don't know, man, it's good. And it's so wholesome. I'm saying that so unironically, I assure you. I'll get back to the weird sex, gore, and violence, but this just, it does it for me, man. It really does.
What's your next one?
So anyways, it's good. It's good. Are you judging me, man? Like,
no, it's just funny how like you're like it's just so wholesome. Just I love it.
It is. So I'm really glad that our friend Varangian Vigilante came on here and recommended it, because I probably wouldn't have picked it up, and it's really good. Seriously,
it's
like
so weird.
I want to buy this for like every little kid that I know, all like 2 of them. What would be the female version of a brony? A sibling knee? I don't know. Yeah. You know what? I'll be a brony. I'll 100%. Like, friendship is fucking magic. Yeah, this one's good.
Is he sending that across the room to you?
Yeah, he's literally like 10 feet away.
That's
yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah.
I would be the asshole who wouldn't type it and just yell it.
Yeah.
But that's me. Your next book.
That was my next book. What's your word? Do it.
Oh, you said you were just gonna run through everything. That's why.
I was gonna like.
Oh, okay. So, I will go right into something that I hate and love this series at the same time. Coffin Bound.
I didn't get to pick up issue number 6, and it makes me sad.
The last issue was so good, and this one was like, it decorumed me. It had nothing to do with anything that happened in the last issue. I was like,
You know, I feel like this, because the first arc was like one thing, and then I feel like the second arc, what was it, issue number 5, started off in a really weird place where it was like, wait, where am I at? And did you feel like issue number 6 continued that, or
it jumped to somewhere else completely? Like like characters I haven't seen before, and that Vulture thing's back. Like I don't know. Like I felt lost, and I was like, I've been keeping up, so I don't know why I feel lost, but I was lost.
Yeah.
5 out of 10, I guess. Like I honestly like did not understand what the fuck was going on.
Yeah.
Like it was Mercy level. Except the art wasn't as good.
That's so disappointing. That's so disappointing, because I really enjoyed the first. Like, it's a weird, wacky story, so I get it.
The first run had some clunkers in it for me too.
Yeah.
Your next one.
Okay. I'm surprised I didn't talk about this one earlier, but Bitterroot, number 10, finalized the second volume, I guess. And this series is so good. There's a death in here, so spoiler alert, there's a death in here, and I didn't realize how much it would affect me, but I do think that this is going to some weird, it's definitely embracing some of the darker tones in it, I feel like, so the next issue I think is gonna, or the next arc might go like a little bit darker. The biggest thing that I have to say is that if you read volume 1, if you've been reading this series at all, you need to watch Lovecraft Country. You need to. I don't know why you haven't watched Lovecraft Country, because it's so fucking good. I know that I've said it before, about, I think I was talking about Kindred, and Kindred is a book about a woman in the 70s going back into time, and she is like a relative of hers who's a slave, and she's living on the plantation and trying to escape and all of that. And she's going back and forth in time, and like slavery is horror. Like it's one of the most horrific things in our country's history, and Bitterroot, I think, touches on that and touches about how racism is disgusting and it's horrible. And Lovecraft Country does the same thing. And seriously, watch Lovecraft Country. Seriously. Seriously. I know you're yawning at me.
No,
Whatever. No, just yawn. But, like, seriously, watch Lovecraft Country, okay?
It's like I just woke up before the show started. Oh, I did.
Well, whatever. I woke up at, like, 4 a.m. on my day off. I'm not even supposed to be here. Okay, what's your next pick? Sorry, I went on a rant and I was supposed to talk about Bitterroot and I ended up going on a rant about like whatever. But seriously, Bitterroot is really good and Lovecraft Country is also really good.
So Cable continues to be a very fun book. And I really enjoyed this newest issue.
How is this so good?
It should be. It should not be.
It shouldn't. Like, I should be absolutely fucking hating this book. Like, this should be one of the books that I'm hate reading. And I'm love reading it. Like,
it's a fun book. Like, it shouldn't be this good. Cable's a boring-ass character. But, like, this book just, like, he's kind of an a-hole. And then when he's telling, like, Cyclops, like, yeah, I met Deadpool. He seems lonely.
Yeah. And, like, just the whole, like, why are you late for dinner, Cable? Like, I don't know. It's
So my favorite page out of the book was when he gets back on Krakoa, and then Emma Frost is there, and he goes, tell so-and-so I'll see her tomorrow. And she does the... Yes, I love that page. Like, it's just so subtle, and I adore it because it's so fucking stupid, and I love it.
Yeah.
And then like, what he does to the Space Knights. Okay, Jen. I mean, Kim. I'll watch it. I will watch Lovecraft.
It's really, really good.
I'll do it Tuesday because I have to prep for our show Monday.
Got it.
I have to be on my best behavior in game since we have so many guests.
Mm-hmm. It's going to be fun for anyone who doesn't know. We are going to be reading Dune, but we're going to go chapter by chapter, possibly to make it a little bit more palatable. Because it's a fantastic book. However, it's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a big boy.
Was it 400 pages? Oh, no, it's 282 pages just for what they consider the first book.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, this one that I have, I don't know if you and I have the same version.
No, mine's older.
Okay. Yeah.
589 pages, not counting the appendix 1, 2, and 3, 4, the terminology, the cartographic notes, the map, clocks in about 869 pages.
Yeah. My version is 794 pages for the whole thing, I guess. And then, so then you've got your appendixes and all that.
The fact that you have to have a terminology in this is
But I love world building like that, so I'm really excited to jump into this again. So I'll save it for the stream, but I have some hot takes.
Some thoughts.
At least one.
I'm sure Cindy is like, because already she's been like, that book, I'll do it. I want to hang out with my friends.
Yeah.
What was your next title?
So I have 2 more, and I'll go ahead and so the Dreaming Waking Hours, which is set in the Sandman universe. written by G. Willow Wilson, and man, it's really enjoyable. I feel like I want to hate anything that even like touches the Sandman universe, but it's good. Our main character, I can't even recall her name because there was so much going on in this, but they are trying to figure out. They basically have to figure out like who the real Shakespeare is in this world, because like all the theories about like who was Shakespeare.
Yeah.
So they have to figure it out, and they can leave the world. There's a lot more going on in this, but seriously, this one's so good. The artwork is beautiful.
I've got it. I didn't get to read it yet.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. Solid like 9 out of 10, 9.5 out of 10. There's not many bones that I have to pick with this at all.
I feel like we need to like do a group read of the Alan Moore Swamp Thing, since John's Comics with Kids hasn't read it. And has one, like, because that's such a good run.
My thing would say, since John hasn't read Sandman,
I think
that we could do a read of Sandman.
At least book one.
Yeah.
So Batman came out this past week.
Well, who's Batman? I'm just kidding.
Well, he was high on ayahuasca or whatever the hell Harley gave him for most of it, and tripping balls while she was fighting Punchline. That was the whole issue. The whole issue.
Thank you for reminding me why I don't pick this stuff up anymore. Like, that just sounds like boring to me, but also trying to be extreme. I don't get it.
Like there's so many like bad Harley. She keeps calling her punching bag, Punchline. Like, just some cringy dialogue here and there. The art is nice by Jimenez, but like, there's a scene in here where she's like basically telling Punchline that they're what are you doing?
Did you see the comment?
Which one? Oh, stop sleeping on Lovecraft Country. I see it now. I forgot how slow it is to load.
Yeah.
There was no pearls in this.
In case anyone didn't know, Batman's parents are dead, and at the time, Martha Wayne was wearing some fucking pearls, and her pearls have to get ripped off in every fucking thing. So did he, like, on his ayahuasca like trip, he probably saw his mom, and no, he talks to Alfred.
Oh, okay. Alfred smacks him in the face.
Okay, I mean, but at least it wasn't the fucking pearls again.
It's shades of the Tom King run where like he is out cold for an entire issue while Catwoman fights Joker. And it's like, what are we doing here? Like, it's a 4 or 5. Like, it just. Oh, by the way, I don't know if anybody knew, Spider-Man's uncle was killed in a robbery, and Spider-Man could have stopped him, but he didn't.
Sorry, I apologize.
With great power comes great responsibility.
I see someone texting over here, and I'm like, what the fuck is that dude texting right now? Hashtag fucking triggered.
Okay.
I don't know what he's doing over there. He's texting furiously over there, and I'm like, God damn it. Yeah, maybe we should do like a maybe what we need to do is we need to do a character origin video. Because apparently people don't know the origins of extremely popular characters. So
can we do it with puppets?
No. No puppets.
You're just gonna drop some pearls on the ground. Batman's mom died.
End of story.
For their pearl. There's a lot of furious typing just for were their pearls.
I know, right? Okay. He needs to stop over there. Okay, so anyways, Batman's parents are dead. Alrighty, so I have one last thing.
Oh, I didn't get to read that one yet.
It was good. There's a lot of fantasy world building in it. There's also a cat that like brings the main character, and I think that they're only referred to as the Seeker. Were there pearls when Uncle Ben died? I don't know. Was there like
just the one he gave Aunt May before he left?
The pearl necklace? Yeah. Uncle Ben knows what's up.
Smacking her with some wheat cakes.
Were there wet ass pearls?
I don't know. Someone summon Stan Lee and let's find out.
Yeah.
Grant Morrison, get on that.
So, anyways, Inkblot. It was cute. There's a little cat that like helps the character, the Seeker, travel into this other dimension. And I didn't really know what I thought that this was going to be more of like a modern, like urban fantasy going into, but it's set in like a more medieval fantasy type world. So I think that we're going to see some interesting world building. And then there's a cat, which is adorable, and it doesn't say meow, it says meow. So
were they hoping not to get sued for using meow?
I don't know. Maybe it's one of those like happy birthday things, like you're not allowed to sing happy, or I mean now you are because the copyright's over or whatever. So anyways, I think this will be fun. I'm curious to see where it goes. It might end up being like Mercy. Where I just still don't know what the hell is going on. But that was my stack. Pretty healthy stack here.
Let me do a quick end to mine.
Yeah.
So this is my thoughts on Empire.
What is it? What? Just done. You're done?
It's over. It was stupid. Yeah. Dumb ending. Like just glad it's over.
You know, I liked the Empire X-Men. I thought that was like halfway decent and enjoyable. But I didn't like get all the other stuff. So.
And now we get Fallout Empire because we have to have an epilogue to what we just saw. So
yeah.
Also, a book from AWA because I liked Devil's Highway, so I thought I'd check another AWA book out, and it was Grendel, Kentucky. You know what I don't need? Rednecks. I realized that, and there's way too many redneck books coming out lately between Scumbag and all this other shit. Like,
yeah, and like as a former Floridian, I feel like I can't do.
How's it going? Stay
put. I feel like I can't do rednecks. Like I feel like I can't do rednecks, and I can't do. I actually hate Southern accents. Like. Someone told me, they're like, yeah, you sound like you have a Southern accent, and I just want to like rip my vocal cords out. So hopefully now that I moved to the Pacific Northwest, I can like shed off some of that.
You never lose it. It just
I know. You can take the girl out of Florida, but you'll never take the love for chicken tender pub subs out of her heart.
I almost texted you a picture. I was eating a Publix sub the other day.
What kind was it? What bread? What bread did you get?
White.
Oh, boo.
Roast beef, Swiss, oregano, black pepper, mayo, and I got oil and vinegar.
I can like still taste the specific mayo that's used on Publix subs, and I really never want to go back to Florida, but man, it would be for like a Publix sub, a hug from like 2 people, and some good Cuban food.
Well, Gambit did say, like, he was like, I wouldn't mind meeting Jen. She seems interesting.
Oh, I seem interesting. I'm really glad the illusion worked.
Oh, well,
I'm convinced.
In Gambit speak, that's high praise.
Okay. I'll take it, man. There was a couple other things, like not graphic novel-y, or sorry, not single issues that I got, but like graphic novel-y that I got. That I'm really excited to read. The first one is Be Gay, Do Comics. And did you pick it? Oh, like you like reached for something, and I'm like, oh, did you pick this one?
No. I was just like, that's interesting.
It's like an anthology type thing. There's lots of different stories, and It goes over, personal like biopics of queer people, as well as a little bit of history and things like that. So from what I've seen already, I really like it. It's been good so far, but I haven't finished it, but I really like it. Be gay, do comics.
Ah, dude. Tell Josh to knock it off.
I've been living in Florida.
I got a New York accent too, but only certain words. But
For 20, I've been
Josh,
living.
I'm gonna say this: my Publix, the 5 grain is always gone. Every time I go there, they never have it.
That's the superior bread, the 5 grain, man. And like back in Florida, the one that I would go to, there was always a woman named Missy who would make it depends on who like made, and if they like make it with love or they make it with hate. And man, like Missy, she made it with love every fucking time. So I don't know. Yeah, 5 grain is where it's at with the bread for me.
So people are selling that 1 in 100 Paul Pope incentive for House Atreides for like $300 pre-ordered.
Oh my god, please don't tell me that, because I'm really, really hoping that I can get it. And I really hope that doesn't put a wrench in me getting that comic, because I really need it. I really need that Paul Pope cover. Like, I'm willing to, like, I don't know what I'm willing to do for that, but I really, really, really want that Paul Pope Dune cover.
I'm waiting for it to pop up on Midtown or Thing from Another World.
From what? Midtown?
Midtown or Thing from Another World, because usually, like, once their prices are set.
Yeah. So anyways, Big A Do Comics. I also picked up in the same week, but I haven't really delved into this too much, but The Art of Drag, which was really fun. And it goes into like the history of drag and then some like modern influences. And, I really liked this book, but I'm like, I don't know if I really am going to get this one. And then I opened it up to a certain page. Let me see if I find it, about Divine and John Waters. And I'm like, I've got to have this. And it was all of like $23. And I'm like, I've spent more money on dumber shit, and this is just, it's so cool. I really, really enjoyed this. So,
Speaking of spending money on dumb shit, did you order your ring light?
No, not yet, because I have a couple other things that I need to get. So I'm like I need a shower curtain, and I think I want to get a new bed sheet. So I was like, and maybe some tea. So I'm like, let me figure out what I want to get. But what's your review of the ring light so far?
It's been pretty good. I'm using it actually right now.
Yeah.
The remote for my shutter for my camera phone works pretty well. Mm-hmm. The clasp on it to hold the phone is good. A couple of different light options. The very sturdy build. It can go up to, I think, 7 feet.
Yeah, I saw that it was because I was like, how tall is it? Because I mean, you're probably going to be jealous of my setup, but I literally have I have a plastic drawer that fits right there, and then I've got some Christmas lights, and I've got bookends holding my phone, so it's pretty fancy over here, bad and bougie. I don't know if I need to spend $40 on a ring light.
34.
I might as well just buy some extra Christmas lights.
Just get the LED rope lights that just go around.
Yeah. I've been thinking about putting those up. I've been thinking about putting those up in the bookcase behind me, but I need to get a new bookcase, and I'm putting that off. And I need to get a new bookcase before this one behind me falls. So if you're interested in supporting that, go to my Patreon or something. I don't know, $2 a month. It's like 30 cents, less than 30 cents a day. That's if you do the $10 tier. That's 30 cents a day. You can support a girl in Portland, Oregon. Get some bookshelves. I did get it. Okay, sorry. I'm going to talk about another book that I got this week, and I loved it so much. I'm so sad that I slept on this one, but Space Riders is like heavy metal. I don't know.
What I always compared it to was if Jack Kirby was taking acid and decided to write Silver Surfer then and said, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna put the Eternals in here too, or New Gods.
Yeah, that's 100% like, and there's like Vikings that ride motorbikes in space and they're called Vikings, and like it's wild. And so like one thing that was kind of cool, because I ordered it from Powell's, I saw that it was like $8 and I'm like, okay, like I'll bite. And then I open it up, it is dedicated to Jack Kirby, and then it's signed. And so I'm like, that just felt magical to me. And then I went to go to the Powell's website and buy trade number 2, and it was $40. And I'm like, what the fuck? Why is it $40? So I'm probably just going to see if my local comic book shop can order it, because
it might be just out of print, and that's maybe
possibly. But seriously, this one was so wild and wacky. Definitely my brand of like weird space adventures.
Yeah, that was like Black Mask for a while was putting out like a bunch of like really creative books all at once, and then people started leaving, and kind of because people, the bigger companies were like, oh hey, this person's kind of good, let's get them. And then you have like what Matthew Rosenberg ended up dropping, We Can Never Go Home and Never Going Back.
So he never went home.
Go home.
He told us in the title.
Yeah.
We were forewarned. Like this should not have been a surprise.
I just love Gambit when he goes, wait, so this was it for the book? Like there's no, well, that sucks.
Yeah. I wonder if like we had read it like knowing that like differently, if we had read it differently and had a different mindset of that book going in, but
maybe.
Speaking of weird space stuff, have you watched Raised by Wolves?
I've watched no TV.
Why?
Well, sleeping, work.
No, I get that.
Reading.
Three episodes of Raised by Wolves is out, and I managed HBO, and I managed to make it through one episode before falling asleep. But it was really good. It's really weird, and
I had every intention of watching The Boys season 2, and I couldn't get myself hyped to do it. And I liked season 1, but like I was just like, eh.
I feel like I enjoyed season 1, but just kind of like knowing where it is and that how like aggressive it is, I guess. And even though like I don't mind aggressive, like I feel like not everyone, but several people I work with are like, oh, have you watched it? Like you're into comic books, have you watched it? And I'm just like, meh. Sorry.
I mean,
sorry, coworkers.
It's kind of like the Watchmen thing where everybody's like, oh, Watchmen. I was like, I'll get to it when I get to it. Like,
Watchmen is so good. And you haven't finished that either.
No, like literally, like as soon as that hanging happened, I was like, you know what? Like, there's too much weird shit going on in the world, and there's hangings really going on right now. Yeah. I don't think I'm in the headspace to watch this.
Yeah, I totally get that. I started watching it like right before or right during the quarantine, and it's heavy, but it's really good. And it's so good.
Speaking of quarantine, Robert Pattinson got COVID on the set of Batman, so they had to shut it down.
I saw that, and I'm like, that made me sad because I really do want to see. I've been excited for Robert Pattinson as Batman since the beginning. So all of you like people just arriving to the Robert Pattinson as Batman hype train.
What if Willem Dafoe was Commissioner Gordon? How great would that be?
No, I really like what's his name?
Jeffrey
Wright.
Right, yes.
Jeffrey Rush. I love Jeffrey Rush. I have a thing for him the same way I have a thing for Steve Buscemi. Like, it's fucking filthy.
It just would have been the Lighthouse reunion.
Yeah.
But I am excited that the trailer was good for that. Suicide Squad's so weird. I can't wait for that.
I think I have hope for Suicide Squad 2. I feel like they should be like Suicide Squad 2, the suicidening or something like that. Like,
I'm interested in that. I was looking at what business Tenet's done so far. Like overseas, it had done like $55 million, which of course for a movie that budget, not great. But it started limited release here in the U.S. So I'm curious how it's going to come dollar-wise? Because I know like they had said they needed to do 800 million just to break even.
Here's my hot take on it. I know zero things about Tenet, other than if you see it in IMAX, you're going to see a Dune trailer. That's literally the one thing that I know
Teaser.
about.
That's what we watched.
Oh.
I'd also like to thank the brave souls that were bootlegging the teaser on TikTok and Twitter and everything else. Yes, it was shitty quality, but
I don't care.
I ruined Jen's day by sending her the link to one of them.
Yeah, because I think it was last Saturday or last Sunday, and I'm like, I'm gonna be productive today. Like today's gonna be a good day, and I did get a little bit productive, which was nice. But since I only have weekends off, and like my nights are just like nights are for sleeping now because I'm an old person and I've got to wake up. I've got to go to bed early so my body can wake up at 4 a.m. and just do nothing. So we'll see.
Yeah, like I was just like, I need more of this now. Like, I don't care what quality is. And of course, I sent it to Sid. She's like, couldn't you get better quality? I was like, listen, we take what we can get.
Yeah. I just want to shout out the comment in the chat that there's too many boys in the boys, and that's exactly what it feels like. It's
they added more women this season, supposedly. They gender
did they have
a couple.
Did they have binders full of women to use?
Oh, no doubt. I'm sure. Mitt Romney actually co-wrote.
Oh, okay. Co-wrote The Boys.
Yes.
Yeah.
A little bit more Mormon in it this time. They put on some temple pants.
Magic underwear.
Yes. Some temple pants. Oh God, I just blanked on what I was going to say.
We were talking about Tenet. We were talking about
the Dune. Okay. So on the 9th, before I go to work, we're going to do a blind reveal, our trailer reaction.
So it does come out on the 9th?
Yes. Okay. So I'm going to go the whole day and let my phone just keep exploding and not watch it so we can do a live reaction.
And that's on Monday?
Wednesday. The 9th.
Wednesday. Okay. I'll be at work that day, so I'll be able to be distracted.
Yeah, so like we're going to do a very short reaction because I'll have to literally run to work after we do it. Mm-hmm. But I'm very excited. We've been talking about it for what feels like a year.
Yeah.
It hasn't been a year, but
yeah, since at least February?
January? At least. And then seeing the Empire picture of the sandworm of Shai Hulud, and I was like, kind of looks awesome.
Well, we should get that one in the first movie. I'm curious how they're gonna what's gonna be the breaking point between movie 1 and movie 2.
If in my head, it's when Paul rides the worm.
Yeah, so we'll probably see it as spoiler alert. There's sandworms. Yeah.
Well, you see it right in the front of it, Yeah. Because literally, what was in like the first hour of the movie? Like the sandworms, they're like, it's worm trace. When they're in the ornithopters, which the ornithopters of that teaser looked awesome.
Okay, so here's my thing. So I watched the teaser once, and then I'm like, okay, I've got to go back and watch this my second time. The second time, I'm pretty sure we're getting an ornithopter that flaps.
Yes.
And I'm almost more excited for that than like anything else. Like, Josh and I were watching it together, and I'm pretty sure I was like, the ornithopter. It flaps. That was my reaction. So if I see more of that, then it'll be a good day.
Like when Sid watched the teaser, she's like, my Duke. I saw my Duke. He has the hawk face. I was like, stop. Like just stop.
Yeah.
Like I just see her freeze frame it like, But yeah, so really excited to do the Dune over on Monday at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific. 11 hours ahead where Sid is in Thailand. So she's going to be doing this first thing in the morning. Yeah. We'll have Cinia, the Queen of Hot Takes, with us. We may have another guest, depending if they can read or not. Someone we both know. He didn't want me saying who. I just gave it up. They didn't want me saying
Is it either Gambit or Andrew or who else would it be?
Someone who's
Did
been
I?
on.
Is it John?
They didn't want me because they're not sure they're going to be able to read in
Oh,
time. So
got it. It's just one chapter.
I know,
We're
and
doing
that should
chapter
give it
by
away of how
chapter.
inconsistent this person could be.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
They were supposed to on a book club finish a book and didn't.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's okay. I don't blame him. He's a busy dude.
no, but
Oh,
I'm
hold
very.
on. Give me 1 second. I think I have someone at the door.
Oh, well, that's interesting. We're answering the door during the show. So we've got that going on. We have the Black Monday Murders book club episode that will be either on a Monday or Tuesday. Probably a Tuesday at this point, since we're doing the Dune over every week on Monday nights. Black Monday Murders will be done before the end of the month. Get ready for us talking about all the exposition in it. I just got a Black Monday Murders tattoo for one of the covers, done by my friend Gambit. And there's pictures of it on my Instagram if you were following me on there. Other than that,
Sorry, I had a so really quick, PSA folks, make sure that you fill out your census stuff, because they will come knocking on your door. Because I already did the census, so you should do the census. You should comply with it, because it gets more funding for things like schools in your area, I guess, and allocating resources and shit. So make sure you do the census, or if you live, because they can fund more stuff like tear gas, the police, and so the police can get another fucking tank or whatever it is.
So I was just saying, like, we're probably doing the Black Monday Murders episode on a Tuesday, since Mondays were kind of booked now with the Dune over.
Yeah.
And the way my days off are now. I think that's about it, unless you got anything more to add.
No, that was it. Hopefully,
oh my God, almost done it. We're just barely over an hour for once.
And we talked about a lot of comics. I'm actually really proud of us as like the character development and like the character arc. Like,
well, we also redemption. Had nothing horrible happen this week.
That's true that we saw. So luckily the like Twitter gods or whatever just didn't let us know about whatever horrible shit's going on in the comic book and entertainment
by the way,
industry.
Did you happen to catch that Disney or the ABC thing, Chadwick Boseman thing they did? They put it on Disney Plus, but Ryan Coogler was talking about how like Boseman was rewriting lines in it, especially the one where Michael B. Jordan's character Killmonger died. Chadwick Boseman wrote the line saying, bury me at sea with my ancestors. So that wasn't in the movie originally, like in the script. So he had added that in.
I remember seeing something about how he got offered a part and they were basically like, yeah, like you're going to be a slave or you're going to like be this. And he's like, nah, like that, we don't need to have that story again. So I'm sure there's plenty more of stories like that.
It was a nice tribute. They just put on Disney Plus, and it was like Coogler and all these other people talking about it. He's like, I had no idea this dude was going through all that.
Yeah. It sucks because like there's, a part of me that the first thing, because I know him as like Black Panther. And so of course, like, that's kind of where my head goes is like, okay, like I hope that they don't recast someone else's like T'Challa. And I really hope, like, I don't know, it's sad because I'm like, this person was more than just an actor, but I only know him as an actor. So I'm talking about his like acting roles. But I really hope that they don't recast.
I think it's going to be Shuri.
I think it'll be, I feel like I've been like not calling that for a while, but if they were going to do anything, then if they were following the comics, which sometimes they actually do.
Speculators are already going there. Like they started buying all of it up, her first appearance.
Oh, cool. Because I mean, not that I have her first appearance, but I have like most of her run. Hello.
Thank you, Appreciate your comments too. I've seen a couple of different things. One of the other things that I'm very happy about, because I was telling people to watch Get On Up.
Yeah.
It's sold out on Amazon and on Best Buy. You can't get that movie anymore.
I was like, how is it sold out? And I'm like, oh, I only buy digital movies. I was like, how the fuck do they sell out of a digital movie? But hey, that may be the future where it's like, we're only going to release like 1,000 of this digital movie.
I went through my collection and I'm like, fuck, I don't own it. I thought I did. So then I was like, I'm going to go buy it. And then it's like sold out, back order. I was like, motherfucker. That's what I get for running my mouth about that movie being good. Yeah. Not that enough people watch this show to even care.
I haven't watched it. It's me.
You should watch it.
Yeah, I'll watch it as soon as you watch Watchmen and what else? Lovecraft Country.
I feel
and
so.
Raised by Wolves.
Tuesday, I will watch Lovecraft Country.
Like seriously, man. Like
Watchmen, though, in my head, I have to piecemeal that. I have to do one episode, stop. Like it's not a binge for me. It's just too heavy for me to binge.
That makes a lot of sense. There's a lot of stuff that's in it, and there's a lot of stuff where you really have to pay attention. So one episode at a time might be good, so you can like decompress.
Yeah, because I did 4 episodes in a row, and I was like, ugh. Yeah. By the end of those 4 hours, I was just like, I don't feel good.
Yeah.
And then I started watching Cursed on Netflix. I was like, what the fuck? These are the worst digital wolves I've seen.
It was not I did not enjoy it. The only other thing that I like feel like I'm like working on, and I've been working on it for a while, is like modern horror, like comics. So like hopefully I should be able to finish a video tomorrow, as long as you don't send me another teaser for Dune or something that happens. Then hopefully I should be able to actually like finish this video about the top 10 horror comics of the last 10 years. So that's what I'll be working on tomorrow. Don't come at me about my list and things that I've not put on it.
Are you pointing at me about that?
I'm pointing at you, man.
I don't come at you about anything.
Yeah, you do. I'm so sick because you were like, well, by chance or providence isn't horror. And I'm like, yes, it is. Like, whatever.
That's not coming at you. That was just my thoughts on it. And you were the one who presented your list to me going, well, I don't know. I got to pare this down.
Yeah. And actually, because I forgot one title that I'm like, fuck, how did I forget that? And so now I'm like having to move stuff around and whatever. But I'm really surprised because I thought about it later and I'm like, I didn't even put Nailbiter on this list. And so I'm really surprised that you didn't notice that and was like, why isn't Nailbiter on this list? It totally should be.
What was the time range on it? Was it of the last 10 years or was it?
Yeah, and that one was what, 2014? So.
No, actually, because I was like, 30 Days a Night's not on there. And I was like, oh, wait, no, that
was 2005, 2006?
Yeah. Still, I still feel people sleep on that book.
For sure.
But anyway, we're going to wrap up. Thank you, everybody, for joining us in the chat. As always, enjoy having you with us. And if you are interested in sci-fi and hard sci-fi,
hard with 2 Ds,
and some outdated social commentary. I don't even know if it's commentary, like social thinking that's in the book that we will address because this is the show to do that. And we have the people on there that are going to call that shit out.
Yeah, but there's no politics in sci-fi.
We never got there on that. I know. I feel like there's plenty of politics in sci-fi.
Oh my god, it's all politics, man.
Yeah. Like everything, even robot politics. Damn, Isaac Asimov.
Yeah.
Without Will Smith, though.
Yeah.
So we'll be doing the Dune over and then our regular episode next Saturday and then Black Monday Murders, where you're going to learn all about exposition and Hickman dumps. I'll figure out if I can dump infographics onto the stream and just have our own exposition dump.
Yeah. Maybe we should tag Jonathan Hickman and be like, be on our show, and then I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know.
No, I don't know. I just don't. Because I would probably just like let him talk, and I'd be like, okay, all right, I'm digging what you're throwing out there. And then he just drone on and be like, okay, he's just, that's just the way he thinks. So it's not him like writing smartly. It's just, let me tell you about this.
Yeah.
Jen, get a drink.
I'm here for it. I'm here for it, man. I'm here to listen to Jonathan Hickman talk about whatever the fuck he wants to talk about. Especially if we get some East of West, man.
There is a chance that we might have a comic creator on in October. Because still working with Steve Orlando. Book. But it can't be on a Saturday. He does not want to do a Saturday. Because that's his day, his one day off.
I get it.
Yeah, he needs to spend time with his loved one. So.
Totally get it.
So I'll announce that whenever it happens, but he was very interested in being on, and I was like, okay. And then Jen messaged me about an advanced reader we got. She's like, I don't know.
I'm going to go back and reread it and see how I feel.
It moved fast. That was the one thing. The art also like carried the story.
I think that I'm going to like the characters in this. I think I'm going to like them a lot.
So with that, thank you. So long, farewell. Avita, say goodbye. And Monday, 10 o'clock, the Dune Over.
Monday, Dune Day.
And we'll explain why it's called the Dune Over also at a preamble. And finally having my friend Sid that I've talked about to no end on. So just see me doing this.
Mm-hmm.
And then Jen mocking me endlessly.
Never. Does she know about your CD-ROMs?
It would not surprise her.
This is, if you had just ended the episode that much sooner. No, I'm just kidding.
I don't even know why John's laughing at us. It could be many things.
Yeah, it could be so many things.
And John, if you didn't hear earlier, we think we should have you on and do a show reading Sandman.
Yeah. Like, maybe, please and thank you.
I think to experience it with someone reading it for the first time would be very, very interesting.
So I can live vicariously through how much I love that book.
What if he got his kids on too?
Well, I don't know if they would want to read Sandman. That would be way too much, I think. But
why is Death pretty?
Yeah, that's what I thought when I'm like, man, Death is so pretty. I want to be Death when I grow up. That was literally a thought.
So did every teenage girl who was finding comics around then.
That was literally me. That was me.
A lot of onks. And then the Crow.
Yeah.
The Crow handled the other half. Okay, John, we will set this up at some point. We're going to get this going.
Yep.
All right. Yeah, so we derailed again, just like we always do.
But that's okay.
All right, take care. Bye.
Bye.